Okay, so here we go. We are, this is something new that I haven't done yet. I've done mastermind calls before. I've done different styles of masterminds, and this is just another way. We're going to see if this one produces the activity that I'm hoping we get, the results that I want. For those that just finished my last mastermind group, we read a book on mentorship, on leadership, and it went really well. For those that showed up, we read a chapter every 2 weeks, and then we talked about what we learned and how to apply it to our Beachbody business. This time around, the feedback that I got is that we want to have topics to talk about. Everybody has hot topics that they are struggling with or whatever, and so we want to discuss those because inevitably at the end of each of our last mastermind call, the call would almost transition to here's what's not working, and maybe does anybody have any questions? So I wanted to dive into that this time. So hopefully you guys are willing to participate. Everybody's at the same level. Nobody's better than anybody else here. And the only way this place is going to get better, the only way we are going to get better is if we share and ask questions. And so the topic of today's discussion is on best recruiting practices, ones that have worked for you. And if you're struggling right now, which we all are at some point, we need to start asking questions of what, I've tried this, I ran into this issue. Does anybody have answers? And just be mindful of time. We don't need one person talking the entire call. But if, we can keep this discussion going, that would be ideal for me. I don't need to be talking because that's not what I need to be doing. So the best way if you guys participate. So recruiting practices, let's start maybe with here's what I've tried, and maybe questions here, and here's where I'm struggling. Maybe that'll help us get the ball rolling. Does anybody want to chime in with questions or struggles that they're having currently with recruiting? And after, of course, we introduce ourselves. Excuse me. Sorry. I know you guys, but you guys don't know who everybody else is. Thank you, Stacey, for doing that. Let's do that. So here we'll do that quickly. Stacey, we'll start with you. You're in the top on my screen.
Okay. Hi. Okay. My name is Stacey Dasher, and I'm in Connecticut. Actually, this is my 3-year anniversary as a coach. I am a 3-star diamond in my first business center, a 1-star in my second business center. This is the 36th month. I've also hit Success Club consecutively. Thank you. I love what I do. Absolutely love it. And I'm excited to be a part of this call. And I guess that's about it.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm a mom. I'm a mom too, and a wife. I have 2 kids, but I guess they're on the back burner. Beachbody comes first.
That's great. All right, Corinne, you're up next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Corinne Malidi. I'm coming from New York, Long Island, New York. I've been a Beachbody coach for about 4.5 years now. I'm a 4-star in my first business center and a 1-star in my second business center. I am also a mom of 2 and a wife. And I absolutely love this too, but I am not going to lie. I have been struggling big time this past year. I'm not really doing much in terms of advancement. I'm hitting Success Club. That is an absolute non-negotiable, but recruiting is very difficult for me. I had a really challenging year and let all the excuses get to me. But I'm back and I'm excited about this and fired up for these calls.
Very good. I love that you're already diving into some of our topic. You may be the first one to chime in. Good. Joey.
Hi, everyone. I am Joe Petrie. I'm Rochester, New York. Coach for 10 years. 3-star diamond, do this full time. That's it. I'm a dad, got 2 boys, married. I love it. It's fun. Struggles, but it's good.
And he won't say this, but he just barely last month came into the $1 million or the Million Club is what we call it.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Hot freaking dog. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
That's awesome. All right, Cheryl.
Hi guys, I'm Cheryl Mina. I live in upstate New York, just outside of Albany. And I'm a 3-star diamond and then diamond in my second business center lifetime. I'm a mom of 2. We just finished up. My daughter's over here crunching away, so I gotta keep it muted. But I have 2 kids, a preschooler and a second grader. And I think it's 53 or 54 months in a row Success Club. That's always a non-negotiable for me. But yeah, I definitely need to get back in the game on recruiting and growing my team and getting that all strong again when some of my diamonds kind of crumbled this year, and kind of just getting everything strong again.
Very good. Stephanie.
Hey guys, I am Stephanie Oliveira, and I live about 40 minutes north of Boston in New Hampshire. I'm a 3-star diamond. I've been a coach about 4 years. I was able to, I had my first baby in October, so I was able to leave my full-time job. I worked at Children's Hospital for 15 years, so I was able to leave. So that was a huge goal for me. But transitioning into full-time coach with the new baby is definitely a struggle. But basically for me, my hardest thing, I feel like I've hit Success Club for 40 months and I'm Success Club 10 legend. I think the hardest thing for me is having my coaches do what I do, even though I feel like I show them what I should be doing, what they should be doing. But the reciprocation is just hard for me. And I feel like I'm just that girl that I baby them too much and I do so much for them. And I just want it more than they want it sometimes. That seems to be my biggest struggle. So definitely recruiting. I think for me, I'm having a hard time when I recruit people that aren't my challengers, they don't go far. So I'm really just trying to work on, even though it's a slower process for me, recruiting my challengers that are having great results and then making them into coaches is what's working. I feel like I have so many that are so close. 5-star was my goal for Summit. I really want to be at the conference in Vegas. So that's like my big goal this year.
Holy smokes, we are all chomping at the bit. We all have things we want to talk about because we've all been there if we're not there currently. Stephanie, I'm excited to have you bring that up again and talk about it. Very good. Kelly.
Hi guys, I'm Kelly. I apologize for the red face. I'm halfway through my shift shop workout and I paused for this call. I am there's my daughter. I'm a 3-star diamond lifetime in my first business center, Ruby, and my second business center, ignore them. I'm a mom of 3, 7.5, almost 5, and 9.5 months old. I have gotten off track with my business for many life reasons and whatnot. I had a really, really strong team and then some fell off because of my issues. And I'm working on getting back to that, getting my team back to where it needs to be. And my goal for this year is I don't necessarily care about elite, but I would like to be 5-star diamond by the end of the year. That's a big goal of mine. And recruiting wise is finding the people that want it, finding the people who will do it. I'm also a full-time beginning band teacher. So I teach little kids how to open their flute cases and put them together. And I love what I do. I love both of my jobs. I really don't plan on leaving my full-time job because it brings me a different kind of joy. Beachbody does. And I think that's okay. But I want to find people like me who just do it, who don't need me constantly down their neck saying, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? Did you do that? I want them to want it as bad as I do. So that's me.
I love this topic. This is making me laugh. I love it. If we could just find people just like me, right? That's all I need. I just need to find people like me. Yeah, good luck. All right, Rose, bring us home.
All right, so my name is Rose Smith. I am from Cape May, New Jersey. I've been a coach for about 4.5 years. Before I was a coach, I was a high school athletic trainer. And a year and a half ago, I left that to do Beachbody full time. I'm a lifetime 6-star diamond coach. I wasn't at the beginning at the call, so was it struggles that we were going to be?
No, it just transitioned to that. We'll just tell us about yourself.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess everyone, like Stephanie was saying, we want to find people like us and people who get this and finding the right people. So yeah, I'm all on board with that.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, and this is our team. This is awesome. I feel like we are connecting already. Thank you, Stacy, for reminding us. Okay, so that's our topic of the day right there. How to find people just like me. And if anybody knows the answer, I expect you to be the number one coach this year. So it's a very difficult topic. It's one that, when I travel, I'm coming to Pittsburgh and Cleveland next the 21st of this month, and I guarantee you that will be every single topic that I have with people. These brand new emeralds, diamonds that I'll be meeting with. They're like, man, I just can't find people who want to work. So it's a very common topic. So let's bring it out. Let's talk about it. And as far as recruiting goes, since that is the topic of the day, best recruiting practices with an emphasis on maybe helping people see the vision as part of our recruiting process. Who wants to start off? Yes, let's hear it. I heard the sigh.
That was my sigh.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the issue, Stacey.
Well, I think I'm struggling with the same thing everybody else is, trying to find people who are willing to grind like myself and who have that desire and that work ethic like we all do. Like I'm listening to all of you and I'm like, oh, I just wish they were on my team. And I'm sure you say the same thing about everybody else here. One thing I did today was, and I'll let you know how that goes later, I noticed a girl commenting on my posts. Well, okay, let me back up. So basically, my vision of who I wanted has been evolving and changing over the months and the years. And I kept looking for women to fix. Like women who are broken, women who just lost themselves along the way, and so on and so forth. And although that's what gives me the most joy in the business, fixing broken women, that's not gonna grow my business at a rapid rate. And I've realized that along the way. So I've changed some of my posts to really kind of center in on how I'm looking for strong women, badass women, women who want purpose, women more like myself with that outgoing personality. And I post to create an engagement. And there was this one girl who continuously would comment on my posts, but like with that sass that I'm looking for. So I reached out to her and I said, I have to talk to you. You've got this sass that I'm looking for. I think you would be absolutely great about what I'm doing. Let's talk. And I got her on the phone today. And we just had a regular phone call and we talked about it. And she said she's 100% interested. So my goal, although it's a huge struggle like everybody else, huge. My goal is to get people, I think mostly get them on the phone, get them on FaceTime, get them on Zoom. If I know that they have, the potential and the type of personality I'm looking for.
Very good. I like that. And I have a comment, but I want Joe to chime in. Joe, you raise your hand.
Oh, I put it in the chat. I was just curious before we kind of go forward, is like everyone's source of recruiting, prospecting, is it online via social media primarily? Is it referral based or is it face-to-face, just talking to people in the real world? I think that lends a lot to the language we can use when we talk to in this group about making sure that we're on the same page. Or, is it online marketing, sales funnel, that kind of a thing? Or is it just like messaging and following up a lot? That's I feel like that's a lot of the process, in my opinion, of just kind of understanding how we're all going about talking to new people, because that's the blood of our business.
So let's narrow this down, guys. And I'm this is the very first call of the week for me. So you guys kind of are the guinea pig group, and I apologize for that. I want to make sure that we come up with solutions as well, not just here's what's not working. So at some point during our call, I'm going to shift gear and we're going to go into, in the past this has worked, or I've noticed this so we'll get there. So right now, let's try to identify the issue. I don't think, for the most part, and correct me if I'm wrong, the majority of you on this call don't have issues necessarily attracting, connecting, or inviting people. It's more now that they're it's the actual they're willing to say yes, but then how can I transition them to a working coach? Am I off on that, or is that where we want to go with this discussion?
Somewhat, yes, absolutely. But in addition to that, like I have a team call weekly, and I would say at any given time, I have at least 10 coaches who want to make this work. And I tell them exactly what I do. They see what I do word for word. And they're trying, but they're not producing the numbers that I produce.
Okay. So new coach struggles. Okay. Stephanie, I know you kind of led this charge. Let's see what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also in Carl's I'm Here to Help group. I don't know if anyone else is. And Angie Belmar had posted something, and it really triggered something in me, because I'm pretty sure it was her. She said she looks for, instead of people to motivate, she looks for motivated people. And I feel like that's really huge, because you want people that are going to come in wanting to work and not just, coming in to see what it's about. Like, I feel like I've kind of changed my posts over to be like, I want you to be hardworking. So I'm not just trying to attract people that are just like, yeah, whatever, I'll give this a shot. Like, I want to attract people that are willing to know that this takes a lot of hard work. But I feel like even I have changed my new coach onboarding over and over. And I've been to leadership and all this. And I'm like, what are these coaches doing that they get these coaches and that just start kicking ass? And
Numbers.
And I know there's no right way, because you just have to do it. Like, when I started, my coach didn't really give me a training, because she was new too. And it was 4 years ago. And I just figured it out. And I'm like, that's what I want for my coaches. I want people to just figure it out. But I try to come up with all these, like, how can I make this the most simplest thing? Like, their welcome email, do this, and then get back to me. Here's a 10-day Facebook training. Tag me in it so I know what you're doing. Like, I try to make it so straightforward and like not overwhelming for them, so that it's not like just a ton of information. And I feel like then they do it, and then there's still like a stall. And I know, like, and then some will have some great success for a few months, and then they do that, like, oh, it's just hard, it's not working for me, roadblock, where I'm always like, I try to prepare them, like, you're going to hit this. There's going to be struggles. What you have to do at that time is come to the team group, talk to me, and we'll get you through those hard times. But I think we hear it all the time, like, people just want the easy thing and they want the quick fix. And I think if they don't see that drive, like, their why just isn't big enough, and they don't connect with it, and they just say, like, oh, it's not for me, and I'll stop. It's just like health and fitness. You try a diet, it's hard, and then you stop. And it's like that vicious cycle. It's the same thing with a business. So I struggle with the same thing. Like,
okay. I appreciate you clarifying that. So let me bring something up. So with this, it's what's fascinating, and something that may be healthy for you to do in your business is to like Stephanie said, almost have this realization moment of, okay, who am I attracting? If I were to categorize the majority of people on my team, what are they like? And then you need to ask yourself the question, is that what I want? Is that who I want? Are these the people that I want to then turn into leaders? And if the answer is no, then it's not their fault. It's our fault. We're portraying that these are the people I want on my team. So we need to adjust who we go after. I'm not saying forget those people, because you need to understand, and I'm going to do a shameless plug here, the What It Takes video series. If you don't know what that is, if you go to our Northeast Beachbody Coach page, I do a weekly, every Tuesday at noon Eastern, I post a video, and it's of a coach who hit elite last year, and I ask them the exact same questions as to what it takes to become an elite coach. And they answer the questions, and you'll see a theme come out there's 17 episodes now. You'll see a recurring theme come out, and every single one of them is fascinating. I say, tell me how you got started with Beachbody. It's the very first question I ask. Guess what? 100, well, maybe not 99% of them say, I didn't want to do the business. I told them emphatically, I do not want to do the business. I just want to lose 10 pounds, yada, 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 yada. Every freaking time they say this. And think about how you got started. Think about how your mental approach to Beachbody when you first started the business. I guarantee you it was not where you are today. You were if you didn't say no, you didn't have the same drive that you have today. And so it's fascinating that we go after these business minded. I want people who want to hit the ground running, who know how to work business. We tried that in 2016. Guess what? Didn't work. This business works because it's a business of relationships, because like Stacy said, you pick up the dang phone and you talk to people and you get to know them one-on-one. And then because you're a leader, you know how to talk to the different personality types that exist. If all you know how to do is talk to people just like you, you're not going to be successful. I promise. The people in this group, I apologize for being blunt here, but the people in this group, you're a rare breed. Most people aren't like you. Most people don't just do it. If they're, just tell me once and I'll do it. I'll find my own way to do it. Congratulations. Not everybody's like you. Most people are not like you. So you need to learn how to talk to people. You need to learn how to talk to, if we're doing the color code, most of you are reds, I'm guessing. Maybe a blue here and there, a yellow. Most people, you need to know how to talk to each category so that okay, to motivate a yellow, I need to talk to them this way. Or to motivate a blue or a white, I need to talk to them this way. Or that you guys can do it with animals, the gems, however, the 5 love languages. That's where you're going to become better, because the answer isn't, guys, just work harder, even though that's what we want to say. And the answer isn't, I need to find more people like me. You're going to be extremely frustrated along this process. It's, I need to find people who are willing to make a change. And it's going to take time. It's going to take experience. And through the process, they're going to say, okay, maybe this is something I want to do. But as long as you're creating those opportunities for them to say that, that's all your job is. And eventually they'll take off. I've soapbox moment. Sorry, I get sometimes excited. Kelly, let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, so I've been a coach for, it'll be 5 years in October. And when I first started, it was do your challenge groups every month. And the people that are in your challenge groups, basically treat them like they're a coach, but they don't know they're a coach. Have them posting on social media, have them doing this, show them success. If they can find the success in themselves, they're going to start motivating other people. And that literally is how I started. I was one of those people. I told my coach, don't even announce that I'm one of your challengers. Do not announce that I signed up because I just did it for a discount. Don't you speak a word of it to anybody, like never. And then 5 days later, I'm inviting to my own challenge group. But when my business was really booming, I was running really successful challenge groups with my entire team. My entire downline was doing it with me. And we were finding people, we were ensuring that people had success. And when they had the success, they got started. And then I have never signed somebody up for a challenge group as a coach, ever. Because I want them to have that challenge group experience first. And I think that has helped a lot. But my problem is when I talk about challenge groups, when I find people for challenge groups, all I'm getting are my coaches on my team who say they want it, but they're not doing anything. The same people all the time. So, I mean, do you guys agree with me? You know that like your challengers clearly make the best coaches, the successful ones. And I think the reason we got into trouble 2016 is because we were pushing the business so much and not, I'm struggling with finding the people who just want to even succeed in their weight loss, I guess.
I just feel like there has to be a missing piece to our onboarding process because, I try really hard not to play the comparison game because I know that that's a killer. But even for instance, like an Ashley Smith, the girl is in the top 10. I mean, like that. I mean, I don't even know how long she's been coaching, but she's finding coaches and somehow getting them to work. So we all have a different onboarding process and none of it is working. And I don't know if it's the onboarding process or we're just not targeting or finding the people who are willing to take the information we're giving them and utilize it, there's a missing piece somewhere. And I can't figure it out either.
Yeah. And so Joe mumbled this under his breath earlier, and I will give it airtime, not too much, but the airtime. At some point, there's a behind the scenes numbers game that she's playing, and it's a big. She's not sharing it, obviously, but she's only showing what's working. And yeah, she finds people who work. Let me tell you, there's a number game to this. That a lot of people she's having the same struggles that everybody else is having. She just is churning through a lot more people than we are. I'm trying to avoid my personal opinion on that one. But at some point, it is a numbers game.
I just feel like for me, when I hear the number of coaches that some coaches recruit in a month, I'm like, it just has to be like a ratio thing. If I recruit 5 coaches in a month, and or if I recruit 50 coaches in a month, you're going to have that many more that are willing to work. But I'm like, how on earth are you recruiting that many people? And how, if they all come on board, do you keep that family feel of being there for them one-on-one? I just don't get it. But I know that obviously the more you invite, the more that hop on board. And I've heard of some of like the really successful coaches that some of what they do, they won't set up a call until someone hits Success Club, or they just give them a manual and tell them to figure it out. But maybe it's just because they get so many to say yes somehow. They just have that many that are just, they have that many that are successful. I don't know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that she's a mom, she just had a baby, and I mean, I don't mean to just now and on her, but I just noticed she really got very successful very fast. And do you think that she hires help to get these numbers to the extent that they are and reach out to this amount of people? She's got to be talking to like 500 people a day then.
Yep. There's a lot of coaches who have, so we're talking best practices, and we're not talking what works for you, but yes, there are coaches out there who hire assistants to send out initial feelers. And as people respond, that's when they personally take over after that. So yes, there are some coaches do at a certain level hire assistants to do that. Okay, Joe, let's do this last one, and then we need to let's after this let's transition to here's what's worked in the past for me. I want to make sure we leave on a positive note.
Yeah, and I kind of want to like lead into that if you guys don't. Number one, I want to say I'm humbled by everybody in this group and all the people who've been in Success Club successfully and consistently. I know that's something I struggled with and still do, even 10 years as a coach. But the one thing I think I can offer some of you who are really struggling with the recruiting side of things is detach yourself from the outcome. You have to. I know we care about the people and we know we wanted to work for them and we're giving them everything. We can't do the work for them. And when you look at the successful high recruit, yes, they have a sales funnel. They have people just coming in and opting into their free offer or opting into working with them and signing up because they like that person. And there may be that disconnect because of the way they establish their business and they don't have that family feel. Number one, you're going to build your business the way you want to build it. Number two, disconnect yourself from that and ask yourself, am I making my numbers? And then am I also being real with the people about like expectations? Do they know the expectations of what it takes to do what I do? You know what I mean? Like, are you being transparent too with recruiting, if you will? If you look at, the last thing I'll kind of just say with this too, is if you look at network marketing across the board, Beachbody's not the only one who has these struggles. These numbers are pretty, in my opinion, from what I've learned and talked to other people and other people who've come from different companies, it's universal. They're pretty universal. They're like, it's about 10% who will actually become builders, right? If not less than that. So 1 in 10, right? So if you're recruiting 100 coaches a month, you're going to get 10 builders. It's that numbers, or 50, you're going to get 5 builders. Do you know what I mean? Some you get more lucky depending on how you're attracting them into your business. But when you detach yourself from that, as well as I think a lot of you do this, giving them simple, easy tasks that they can do. Did you do them? Yes or no? And teaching them to deserve your time versus always chasing the coach and following up with them. It's just a timing game too. I know when I signed up, I didn't do anything for 6 months until I got to the point where I was like, I need this to work for me. And I'm sure there's a handful of you too, maybe who were in that same boat, who signed up and just weren't ready to run yet until they started going to events or watching other people have success before you really started to believe in the opportunity that was in front of you too. So Kevin, you want to summarize that?
No, that's perfect. So I really appreciate that, Joe, for leading into this best practices. So let me give you one best practice that I recommend, along with, I'm going to give you the assignment for the week now, since it's on my mind. But the best practice that I think that's maybe not a here's how to get more people, but a best practice as a CEO, because that's what you guys are now. You guys are the CEO of your own business, is to do kind of what Joe kind of just was alluding to. Certain things will work for you, and you have there's a ratio out there that you have, but maybe you don't know what that is just yet. It's about time we start collecting data, that we start writing down, analyzing, comparing, graphing. Okay, this month I brought in this amount of people. If I were to categorize them, here's how I categorize them. After a month, who's still around and who dropped off? And if they dropped off, can I pinpoint why they dropped off? Is that something that I can fix? Is it something that I have control over? And then, after, you can say, after 3 months, okay, so my ratio, if I brought on 10 people in 1 month and 3 stuck around, then I know what my percentage is. And that now, if I want to grow my business, playing the numbers game, I know I need to be recruiting X amount of people. Or the second approach is, how can I increase that percentage higher if I have control over that? Because leadership, I hands down believe that leadership is involved in you growing your business. If you think it's straight up a numbers game, then we take you out of the equation. You're worthless to your team. You're pointless, because it's just a numbers game. We don't need. You have influence over these people. You have influence of making them better. They've tried and failed 100 times at dieting and exercising. It's you that's going to get them to stick around. It's your coaching style. It's your leadership style that's going to get them to stay around. And if you don't think that's the case, I know what your personal development needs to be on next time, because you better darn well believe that you have influence over these people. That's my best practice. Now my assignment, we're not done. We can move on to best practice, but my assignment is simply this. There are coaches that you admire. There's coaches that are above you or not even on your team, top 10, whatever, that you continue to go to and watch. That's not by accident. They're doing something that's drawing you in. There's their brand, their avatar, their, however you like to say it, their value that they're bringing is attracting you, and you need to find out what that is and see how you can duplicate it, your style. Let me give you one example, and I didn't get permission from her to do this, but I talked to her yesterday, and I feel like she would be okay with this. There is a coach in our region who just barely, last week, turned 3-star, and she's the number 9 coach right now in the network. Her name is Ashley Locklin. Ashly. There's no E. Locklin. Locklin. I love her videos, and it's the smallest things. But she, within an hour, has like 5,000 eyes on her videos. And I have a good idea why, but I want you to go figure it out. I want you to go watch her video, or a coach that you admire, Ashley Smith, anybody, and find out what they're doing to attract people and to bring value to their team, because like that's where they're getting their high numbers. Okay, that's the assignment. Let's strictly talk about now best practices, as far as, this right here has brought me lots of success, or I've heard that this works as far as recruiting goes. Who wants to lead the charge with that? This isn't a self-promoting thing. It's Ashley Locklin. Is that who you're asking, Joe?
Yeah. Someone spell it.
Ashly. There's no E. Ashly. Locklin. Yep, that's it. Okay, best practices. We have just a few more minutes.
Obviously, one of them is getting the people on the phone.
I really like that. Why do you say that?
Because they realize, most of the time they're meeting us through social media. We're just like a public figure. And when you get them on the phone, especially FaceTime or Zoom, I just feel like they relate and connect so much better. The likelihood of them really listening, and even if you don't close the deal, and even if they say, at the end of the day, it's not for me. They answer. Like sometimes, how many times have you messaged people back and forth and they just disappear off the face of the earth? That doesn't happen when you're face to face. You know, they just know that you're a person. So I would say that.
All right, Corinne.
For me, although currently not quite working for me, it's working for my team. So having really, really effective challenge groups that are fun and obviously engaging, which is the point of a challenge group. But we also, our team opens them for non-Beachbody members as long as they're not promoting another, competitive product. And what we do in them is we spotlight different, like once a week, we spotlight a different Beachbody product that is, one of our popular things like Beachbody On Demand or the 21-Day Fix or, obviously Shakeology. And this way, those non-Beachbody members are seeing these products, and they're also seeing it from the other challengers in the group who are using Shakeology and whatnot. But they're learning more without kind of, you being in their face like, hey, want to try this product? Like they're kind of just free to learn on their own. And we get a lot of people to become Beachbody customers from that. And then of course, I think, like I think it was Kelly who said before, your customers you're grooming them to be your coaches. Obviously, once they have success in a challenge group, then they can start to share their passion for these products with other people and then learn that there's a road to income there and more opportunity. And that's really worked very effective. It's worked for me in the past. It's just currently I'm in a dry patch, but my team is doing really well with it. And we also run our groups together. There's quite a few of us coaches that run the groups together. So they're big and they're really engaging. And then they got too big. So we broke down into smaller groups because then they got lost that family feel like we were also mentioning. But I think that challenge groups are a huge piece to just making sure you're constantly changing it up and being a challenger in your own groups too. So they see that it's also accountability for us and, we're not perfect people, we all struggle and whatnot. And I think that helps people to realize that coaching isn't some perfect, you have to be perfect to be a Beachbody coach.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. Maybe we should just go around the horn and have you guys share best practices that have worked in the past, if that's okay. I guess maybe not. I don't want to put anybody on the spot and feel uncomfortable. But Corinne and Stacey, anybody else want to chime in with things that have worked in the past?
I've just been starting to, even for just challengers, I've just been using more like video messaging when I reach out to people on Facebook, like even on Messenger and in texting, you can do videos. So when I check in on people, follow-ups, I've just been doing video format pretty much for everything. You only get like 10 seconds, so sometimes I'm sending like 5 or 6, but people tend to respond, like Stacey was saying. So when it's more personable, I think, and I feel like when I'm inviting people to coaching events, I'll say like, hey, I really think you'd be great. And they can hear it in my voice and see my face. And I feel like that they have more of an app to say yes to come to my event. And then we've been doing more for our What is Coaching events. We've just been doing live videos instead of doing like 5-day sneak peeks, or even we were posting videos within an event before, but now we're doing live video. So like 5 coaches will talk about the most common, misconceptions and what we do as coaches. And we're just really trying to focus on like the vital behavior. So they know like, well, what would I do if I was a coach? So they have an idea better of like, if that's something that would interest them, instead of saying like why you could be a coach. Like you don't have to be your, perfect body, and you don't have to be a fitness professional, and you don't have to know social media. But we feel like if we talk more about what we do once they're a coach, they can really see if it's something they could fit, that they'd be a better fit at.
Yep. I love that. Thank you. And you hit the nail right on the head. It comes down to relationships. It comes down to being personable. It comes down to caring, because that's what's going to get them to move. They're not moved when an authority figure tells them to move. They'll move when they're inspired, when they're motivated, when they realize, what, she does care, and I want to foster that relationship. And absolutely, that's what it comes down to. Very good. All right. Any last ones? I do have one last thing I want to share. If anybody else wants to chime in with their best practice.
I really like what Kelly said before. Like treat your challengers like they're already coaches. And in one of my groups, I think it was November or December, where I pretty much did everything that I do for my coaches, like in my challenge group. So I, pair them up with success partners. I had like a getting started right, like challenge group call. I had like an end of the challenge group call. I had like weekly call. Like I like went balls to the walls in this challenge group, and I recruited great coaches from there. But for me, it was just duplicating that every single time. It took a lot of time for me, and I do this full time, so I don't see. I guess if people paired up in teams, it would definitely work. But I found that just making them get connected with each other and them forming relationships with being success partners, I would give them like little things like, call each other up and, do this or that, or send your success partner a text message and send them a motivational quote. So that was something that really helped me, was treating those challengers like they were already coaches. Great idea.
Love that. And that leads to maybe my Jerry Springer here final thought is and I've talked to a good handful of you about this, so I apologize that it's a repeat. But for those I haven't, I feel like this is a good place to talk about it. It's called the gap principle, and it's simply this: when coaches join your team, they look at kind of what's expected of them to do. And the first question they ask themselves is, can I see myself doing that? And if we are so strong and forthright and we've set the bar too high, then the gap is widened. They can't see themselves doing what you are doing. And that's a very scary position to be in. Even though you're doing phenomenal, you're leading from the front, if you can't breadcrumb the path on how to get there, if you're just like, you just got to go, that's right, that's it, you're not going to have people follow you. The gap's going to be too wide. So your job as a leader is to narrow the gap, make it look so simple, so easy, that they say to themselves, yeah, I think I can do that. And it doesn't, I'm not saying get to where you are, but it's just get them to move forward in the right direction. Let me give you one quick example. Those in the Carl, I'm Here to Help group. You've been in there a couple weeks now. I've talked to plenty of coaches. For those who don't know, this group is all out, sprint, go your hardest. I don't care what struggles you have. You need to produce crazy high results. And a lot of people are doing that. And the people who aren't are looking at that, and they're reading these posts going, holy crap, I'm supposed to be having SC 86 by now. I can't do that. The exact same thing's happening in your coaches, where you say, look, the expectation is SC 5, if not 10. They're like, I just hit SC 1. I apparently suck. If they have that mentality, they're in a bad spot. It's supposed to be, congratulations, you're at SC 1. That's awesome. Let's capture that. Let's take what you've done and let's see if we can add to that. What do you think you can do this next month to grow, to improve? Don't tell them what to do. Ask them what to do. And as they come up with their own game plan and action plan, you simply say, awesome, I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to follow up. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. There's going to be roadblocks, but I'm going to pick you back up. I'm going to dust you off. We're going to do this together. That's motivational. That's not narrowing the gap. You're widening the gap. That's narrowing the gap. And that's what our job is to do. So however you recruit, however you reach out to people, you have to be asking yourself, is what I'm doing duplicatable? Or am I making it seem like it's duplicatable? That's what we're after. And that's what we want coaches to do, because that's what's going to grow your team. At some point, you're going to max out your capacity. I've taken my team as far as I can take it. You're right. And so it's got to be other people stepping up. And it's not going to happen by recruiting somebody just like you. It may or may not happen, but if you put all your eggs in that basket, I don't see you growing. I see you growing when you take somebody who has potential and turn them into a leader and work with them and mentor them into becoming a phenomenal leader. That's where I see you improving as with your recruiting. So I'll get off my soapbox with that. We're over time. Great conversation. Thank you for chiming in, everybody. I love the chat. If you want to continue it on our Facebook page, or if you have further questions, please do so. Let's keep things with a positive spin. Let's end this group always on a positive note. Let's become better. When this ends in the end of August, when summer's over, let's timestamp it. Where you are today, let's timestamp it with where you are in August. And I want to see a dramatic improvement. And it's because of this group. So participate, show up every single week. Thanks for jumping on. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.